Assalamu alaikum. Yes, how's everyone? So, a bit noisy where I am. A few people to talk earlier. Well, you're welcome to jump on now. If there's anything you'd like to say, yeah, you're welcome to jump on and let me know. I don't know if I've got anything in particular myself that I want to talk about. There's nothing really on my mind. Let me think. Yeah, hey, what's happening, White? So, I suppose the news is talking about Boris Johnson and a potential successor. I mean, certain news outlets are trying to put the pressure on the Prime Minister to resign. I don't think he's got any intention of resigning. Who is it that's really putting the strings behind the scene? It's probably Dominic Cummings. He feels that he created this Prime Minister and made him what he is. Well, I think that's a false notion. And Boris was who he was without the need for Dominic Cummings. Now, if he was going to resign, he would have resigned by now. But the foolishness of this supposed police report that is going to be delivered to the Prime Minister, how are you getting people to investigate themselves or produce a report for themselves and not make it public? Why is that report not transparent and independent? Anyhow, I'm not an expert on this topic, so I'll leave it. Boris won't resign, says Jacko. Yeah, I don't think he will. I mean, you would say something serious would have to happen for him to resign. But what he's done is serious, isn't it? I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, as for the people releasing the information that he's having these parties and stuff, they could have done so a lot earlier, I suppose. Why didn't they? And who would you pick to replace Boris? Secondly, in this situation, if you're Boris, what would you do? Do you think he'll create a fake crisis? You know, some sort of attack in order for people to forget about his misdeeds and focus on the urgent issue at hand? Did you watch the video Jordan M refutes Jordan M? If so, no, I haven't seen it. Why so? Oh, your one. I watched some of it. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think what you're, in summary, I suppose the part I got is that he started off saying something, but then later on said the opposite, right? So that's the case. Yeah, I did see that. And big up to brother Jordan M and the EF Dower crew. Big up, EF Dower. Big up the EF Dower crew in the back. It's the 0191 723. Big up EF Dower if you hear me. Alaikum salam, Ishmael. Ha 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 ha, says why so religious. Yeah, sorry, why am I reading that out? Yeah. Oh yeah, so why so you're I see you've got a group on Clubhouse, but for some reason I miss whenever you're live, so I was on one of the groups on Clubhouse and they were talking about, I think it may have been theism versus atheism or different. Yeah, it was atheism versus theism. That was the topic. Nice, interesting discussion. It may have disturbed Jen. I think she's a little bit unhappy with something I may have said, she wants to debate me about it. Well, yeah, welcome, jump on. I don't know what it was that I said that you take issue with. Anyhow, maybe something to do with moral, objective morality. Yeah, must be something to do with objective morality. The question I must have asked the atheists was something to do with that. Oh yeah, I think the question I asked was, can killing ever just be justified in atheism? Yeah. My memory is gone. It's been a while, but I think that's why I asked. In atheism, can you ever justify killing? Oh gosh, Ishmael says it's not EF Dawah, it's EF needs Dawah. I don't understand you, Ishmael. Apparently, you're the one that is, sending emails to Brother Jordan M, suggesting, video ideas, but then you're saying stuff like EF needs Dawah. A bit weird. Without EF Dawah, I'm not sure that Islam in Britain could survive, said Why So Religious. I'm going to start doing at least once a week, learning religion. I did 45 minutes of Shinto. I have a part 2 to finish, maybe tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Make sure you spell that right. Don't remove the N from Shinto. Or the O. We have a Jordan M in the chat saying, Why So your video was dumb. Interesting. Was your video dumb, Why So? You agree with that? Well, that succinct summary. EF Dawah are the dumbest group of fools ever, says Jack Aradia. I disagree with that comment, Jack. Oh, radio. Jordan M, how was my video dumb? It was your own words. I never spoke. That's a good point, Jordan M. That is a good point. Why so religious? You will never learn anything because you think you know everything. But you know what? Well, never. That's the case with most of us online. We think we know everything. We refuse to learn with whoever it is we're talking to. We close our ears. You get some people who just talk while somebody else is talking. They don't even recognize that somebody else needs to finish their sentence. So listening is a skill that is kind of missing online. Why so? You got refuted. You got refuted. Accept it. Reactionary, you know they don't have a clue. I'm sure they must have a clue about something, Jacko. They probably got a clue about the Bible. Yeah, definitely know about the Bible. And I think I like what Hamza's been reading. I haven't read the books. I wouldn't mind start having a look at them. The books on atheism. So I'd like to check those out. Maybe he can do a sort of, maybe he's done a review of those books and I just haven't watched them. But those look interesting. So I wouldn't write off EF Dawah. I think they got some talent, definitely. Yeah. Not sure about all of their guests. So when I say guests, they're panel regulars. Oh, it's a nice evening though. It's pretty cold. Cold is like, I might describe it as somewhat biting. And it's all right. Alaikum salam, Mad Dunya. Jordan M, as a religious geezer, I would like to say that you are my brother in humanity. Brother in humanity, yeah, there we go. I'm not a liberal Muslim. I never called a non-Muslim a brother. Oh gosh, so you're saying there's contradictions. You're actually, what are you saying? Yeah, not much, Madden. Yeah. What are you saying? Where did you go the other day, reactionary? You said you would come back again on the stream, but never came back. I said I might do. I said I'd try to if I can, but sadly I wasn't able to. So yeah, apologies if I left you waiting. My bad. Why so F off? Why so F off? Jack Radio, they don't know Christianity, man. They look at it with Islamic eyes. Yeah. Is that a fair comment? I suppose it is. Well, I'm not sure. I say they're looking at the Bible with Islamic eyes, and Christians are looking at the Bible through Christian eyes. Yeah. That's really the difference. That's how I describe it. So they're looking at the Bible and saying, if you understood it correctly, this is what you would believe. If you are looking at it through Muslim eyes. Now, if you look at it through Christian eyes, then you understand it in a way that you understand it, which to Muslims doesn't make sense. Yeah. How can you be that dumb? LOL, says Jordan. Oh, well, Jordan M, what's dumb about that? He presented two, what's the word? Two contradictory statements. Why is that dumb? Reactionary and Christianity rhymes. Does it? Only the E. One ends with a T and the other ends with a re. It's not really a rhyme. Alaikum salam, Nikki Travis. You seemed annoyed at the generalizations made by the ignorant far right. Who did? Me? Jordan M once said he regrets making videos on bid'ah, but making crappy comedy videos is more beneficial, right? Everyone's going in on Jordan M today. I feel sorry for you, Jordan. I don't know. It's not me, okay? Let me just make that clear. It's not me. I'm not encouraging anything like that. Hello?
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Alaikum salam. Yes, Jordan M.
I'm on my headphones, so I'm not sure I'm that clear.
It's loud and clear. Yeah, very good.
If that was going live in 10 minutes, I ain't got that long.
Oh, okay, no, that's good.
I'm surprised you'd clash with that amazing, I'm surprised you'd clash with it.
The All Stars. Yeah,
you'll be watching it tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, I have to. Can't miss that. Right?
Inshallah. Yeah. Inshallah. What were you talking about? You were talking about Boris?
At the start, yeah. So we keep being told to think about Boris Johnson and what a terrible thing he's done, and that he should resign. Do you think he should?
I think he's got no choice.
Well, he seems to think he's got a choice. I mean, he should have resigned by now if that was the case. If there was no choice, he would have gone.
I don't know what the consensus is within the party, but surely his own party will want him out.
But weren't they also involved in the parties?
That's true. Who's going to step forward? They're all there. Yeah, I don't know. But they stab each other in the face, when they in the back, and wherever.
Yeah.
So, sure.
David Davis tried his best. Like, he dropped the old Oliver Cromwell statement of "In the name of God, go." And it didn't work. Got ignored.
The thing is with Boris is, since you remember I was a Brexiteer, and Boris sort of jumped on that campaign for a bit. The day after he let the referendum, he disappeared.
Yeah.
And I think he even changed his mind on it. Career politicians. Yeah,
true. It's true.
So if I can't see the comments, but I'll address. I didn't watch all of YSO's video because it's boring listening to my own voice, but it was it's a bit like listening to one of your streams. So let me clarify, because I don't think you understood what was going on reactionary, because you brought up a whole sort of sheikh talking about not calling a non-Muslim brother, which was never my point. I never came on and even made that point from the start. I've never. I think that's where YSO thinks the
I mean, you were in agreement with what the Sheikh was saying in the video, right? From what I remember.
Look, basically, so Waiso said we curse the Jews and Christians, and I use that hadith, which there is an opinion from Imam Nawawi about it being, it's referring to brother in humanity. Now, if I say brother in humanity, that's not the same as calling someone brother in Islam. It's not the same thing. And if there's a, there are differences of opinion on that hadith, but if I bring one that backs up that, I can use it. So as far as I'm concerned, that was him refuted completely. He had nothing. He had no case after that. But he's such a weirdo.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think you understood, because you I was waiting for you. You sort of showed a whole Arabic thing. So I think even you thought I was claiming that I go around calling Jews brothers. I don't know.
I think no. What
saying brother Bob or brother apostate prophet.
Yeah, I mean that would be a bit weird, isn't it? So I think
or brother Ralph. so yeah.
Yeah, well.
See, I'll just clarify that Waiso got completely refuted on that, and you notice at the end what he said Jews and Christians, curse Jews and Christians. At the end, he showed the full hadith where it says the ones that build upon the prophets' graves.
Yeah.
So he came into my live stream saying that, and so to be honest, I thought he was actually quite sincere, but he's actually not at all.
Yeah. I think it depends on which personality you get from Waiso.
Well, I don't know if some of these people look for sort of content for their channel, or they're just bored. I don't know.
Well, I think also he's trying to study Islam to some extent, of course, for whatever his intention.
Yeah, he definitely appears to have interest in all religions, so I'll give him that.
But when he reads from Islam and he sees that Muslims he encounters are misunderstanding the texts.
No, but I don't know if you saw him on John Fontaine. Even when he's wrong, he'll still try and argue it. He's that sort of bloke. Yeah, anyway, what's your? I was going to ask you. We've talked about it before. I saw you on Ralph's channel again the other day.
Did you? What was I talking about?
I don't know. I didn't stay on very long.
Didn't know you watch Ralph's channel anyway.
Yeah, I can't unblock, so I can't comment. I used to like trolling it, but I can't even do that now.
Oh, he's blocked you. I guess. Yeah, no. I think I was talking about. Yeah, I was trying to defend Islam from being described as a religion of grooming gangs and child abuse. So I went on there and I defended it from that.
Actually, I did see. No, that was on a different stream. I did see you do a really good job actually against a guy that was
George. His name's George.
I don't know. It was him. I think it was someone else. It may have been Zabida stream. Stream.
Oh, yeah, Buddha Bing.
No. He's not
really got worse. No, but he's really
you trolled that guy. You trolled that guy unnecessarily. That's just you being reactionary. But there was another guy on there. There was like a British guy that it seemed actually all right in the end, but he was a British guy, and you were asking him questions about about grooming gangs and why they don't look into this, why they only see problems with this, and he didn't have any answers.
Freedom for Britain, maybe.
That maybe him, someone like that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the positive comments. Very nice of you.
But yeah, your Buddha Bean stuff, Buddha Bean stuff, that was nonsense. What was that about?
I know, it's nonsense. The way you get so much support from Muslims, it's unbelievable. They don't see through his.
Does he get support? But I don't understand how you're so friendly with someone like Ralph, but you'd give Buddha Bean a hard time. I don't get that.
Well, I don't recall the last time that Ralph was in agreement with any of the positions that Tommy Robinson was having, or that Ralph was criticizing Islam.
Ralph actually joined the Tommy movement for a little bit.
That was but he's left it.
He was at Speaker's Corner with Tommy Robinson's live stream.
Yeah, but he did leave it, didn't he?
But where's
a lot of Muslims used to be Christians and they converted to Islam, right? So or some other religion.
So where's Buddha Bing's link to the EDL?
Well, that's what we were discussing that day. We were trying to find out, does he disagree with any of the da'wah of Tommy Robinson? But the conversation was being interrupted non-stop, that's all.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, we have a guest. Hello. Yeah, he's not. Anyone hear me? So yeah, so I see you're kind of out in the. You're part of the Buddha Bing defense crew as well.
No, to be honest, I've only ever had minimal interactions with Buddha Bing, and he's always been quite. He goes on Raspek's channel. Whenever he went on the G Block, he seemed to pull up their nonsense if they were talking something about Islam.
Okay.
I always thought he seemed like, obviously he's not pro-Islam, but he seemed fairly level to me. But
So if he's not pro-Islam, is he anti-Islam?
no, there is a third option. You don't have to be pro or
A
anti.
third option. Yeah, I've heard that term before. Even Zubaydah mentioned that the other day.
What? So okay. So for you,
something called third option.
Unless you're pro-Islam, you're anti it, right?
Well, I'd like to understand. You seem to think he's not anti-Islam. You think he's pro-Islam.
But the conversation I heard, you seemed annoyed almost that he hadn't accepted Islam. It was like, well, why haven't you accepted it? Why? It was like one of the weirdest dawah I've ever seen.
Did you know why I was somewhat annoyed?
I think I missed the bit before all of that.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. If you missed it, then
Go on,
I can understand why you take one position.
What's the context? What was the context?
Again, I just want to make it clear that my interactions with Buddha Bing have always been positive. I've got no issue with him personally.
Yeah.
No issue. What I was sort of picking up from him that day, he may have spent an hour, I don't know, it was a long time talking to Uncle Omar. I'm calling him Uncle Omar because that's how he's known, not because of a term of endearment. Now, he was asking him a bunch of questions. Like, some of them were repetitive questions.
Yeah.
And I also recall him asking me the exact same questions on more than one occasion. So I'm thinking to myself, are you asking these questions sincerely because you have genuine, doubts, or you want answers to these? Or are you just trolling? Are you just here and are you trying to present Buddhism as somehow superior to Islam? And you're trying to ask these questions because you think Islam, the answers to these from Islam are not as good as Buddhism. So, and then I compared his technique versus man like Reggie. And I realized that they both did the same thing. They both asked questions, the exact same questions over and over and over again to every Muslim they meet.
Okay, but what if I told you that I did the same thing before coming into Islam? Because you'll get different answers from different Muslims. I don't see anything wrong with asking the same question on different panels, going on and asking it. If it's something that's in your, I went around asking about the HIV issue to everyone. I wanted to know what their take was on it. Okay.
And why did you stop asking?
Well, I think it got to a point where I think somebody explained something that actually clicked. It was like, actually, yeah, my mindset is stuck in, 21st century. I'm not able to look outside of it. And I think it was Abbas that. But to be honest, I mean, those questions are all. If you accept Allah and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the rest all comes clear anyway. All these little questions are often just you go back and forth for someone, don't you?
Yeah.
But I don't, like I said, I don't see anything wrong with asking the same questions.
Okay, but if you've answered somebody and then they ask you the same question again, aren't you going to be asking yourself, didn't you just ask me that? Why are you asking that question again?
I do get your frustration with that. I do understand.
Yeah.
Hello, reactionary. Hello, Jordan.
Hello, YSO.
And
so I think a journey is one that goes in a linear fashion. You go from one place to another place, not in circles.
So you sort of draw a line under the questions and then move on.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, at a point you just say, okay.
Do you ever say to YSO, why are you not Muslim yet?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He has.
And what do you say?
I gave you saw it in the same video with the Buddha Bing. If you watched it when I came on, same response.
No,
Allah hasn't
probably
guided
turned it off.
me.
Probably turned it off at that point. But, anyway,
Allah hasn't guided me.
I think YSO is coming closer. Yeah, who knows?
You're
Allah
actually
knows best.
you're right, why? So it is Allah that puts it in people's hearts.
So,
It is
but
belief.
Jordan, why did you just misquote the Jewish curse and Christians hadith? It doesn't say the ones that built It doesn't say the ones who worshipped at the graves built and worshipped. It says because they. So that's a misquote.
Yeah.
But,
but it's clearly, obviously, my Jewish next door neighbor didn't build upon graves of the prophets.
But it doesn't matter about that, because then if you go to like the meaning behind it, right, where the Sheikh's teaching the meaning of, is saying that Muslims are to curse the Jews and Christians. As I said on that live stream, they are told to do that because they do not fear Allah, and to keep them far away from Allah and the majesty of Islam.
Okay, so are you saying that me and Reactionary should be cursing all Jews and Christians?
Reactionary, did I send you a hadith also that says like what I said, and I showed it on the screen share?
You need to understand, but finally, you need to actually understand that you just looking at hadith
you asked
yourself.
Me something, dude. You asked me something.
You looking
and then
at
you
hadith
watched the whole
yourself
video.
is a really dumb way of looking into Islam.
You watched the whole video. You said, and at the
I
end,
didn't actually. I didn't.
You said when you came on, you watched the whole video.
No, I just said it was a dumb video. I didn't watch it all.
Whatever, dude.
It might have got really clever at the end.
Don't take Reactionary. Don't take this video down. We'll use Jordan's words to refute him again. But
go on then.
So there's a hadith, right? We smile at their faces and curse them in our hearts. And then I even sent that to Reactionary in a pinned comment. So
right. What's your point?
There's multiple sources, dude. Just because you don't like the concept doesn't mean that it's not what Islam teaches. That's all my position has ever been, is that
but you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. Should me and Reactionary be cursing every Jew and Christian now because of that hadith? Is that what you take from Islam? And you're coming on here thinking that's the right.
What does it say that you are allowed to do in Islam? It says to curse the Jews and Christians because they do not fear Allah. That is what it teaches.
Let's say there were scholarly opinions that agreed with that and scholarly opinions against that. If I held the opinion against
not community volunteer, right?
Me wrong. No,
not community volunteers, right? We're talking about the
community volunteers. That was people that compiled it together, as I explained. But if you know that it was actually a reliable source because you actually said, "Oh, that's pretty heavy." But I noticed in your video, obviously, that bit you. But anyway, look, I don't really care about that. But look, there is an opinion that hadith I use, right? There is an opinion that does mean
from a community of volunteers.
No, did I say the community volunteers? Oh my word!
Dude, I didn't even have to say a word on that video. I just used your words.
You're an idiot.
You are so hurt. You are so hurt. Here's a question. I have a question for you. I have a question for you. Do you believe that a non-Muslim, a disbeliever, can teach a Muslim something about Islam?
Do I believe? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Okay. Then why are you so against being screen shared, being sent links that show what the general consensus is inside of Islam, when it goes against what you say on your channel to your followers, and then you're willing to address it on somebody else's channel?
Which point?
Listen.
Which point was I wrong about?
All right. Firstly, what did you say on Reactions live stream? I'm not one of these liberal Muslims. I've never called a non-Muslim brother, and yet
correct,
in your lyrics, you say this is a response to, and then you mention the person that you're responding to, and you do song lyrics where you say, "I am as a religious geezer, I believe you are my brother in humanity." So this is an actual response to somebody who is not Muslim. You understand that?
So could there be a difference between brother in humanity and brother in Islam? Do you think I view you as the same as Reactionary?
There is no brother in Islam. I mean, brother in humanity in Islam.
Well, I brought a new opinion that said there was. So
you brought a community of volunteers.
You're an idiot. This
You-
is a way. You're an
you
idiot.
brought a community of
I bought
volunteers.
Imam Nawawi, which is a very respected source. I bought that and I brought it to the stream, and I even quoted
no,
it.
no. You brought a community of volunteers
Oh,
who
do you know what?
who alleged.
Do you know what? You
No, wait,
are
listen,
just-
listen.
No, because
Who
you're like one of
alleged-
those. You're like one of those itches.
Listen,
that just doesn't
dude.
go away. You just,
No, listen, dude. There's
I
a
could- I
total
could slap
difference.
you and
There's
you'd
a
be
total
still coming
difference.
back.
You don't even know if that's what Imam Nawawi said, right? You're taking it for the quote unquote community of volunteers as a fact, bro. That's what he
but
said.
then there was also a quote on there as well, and you can have a look, do some research on it. I'm surprised you didn't, considering after that stream you were so passionate I was wrong. Go and do some research on it.
I don't have to prove you wrong anymore. You proved yourself wrong with your own words.
How was I wrong in my own
For
words?
one,
if there are
you said that
respected
you have never
opinions-
called.
If there
for
are
one, you
respected
said-
opinions that says that hadith means brother in humanity, that it's talking about me, for example, wanting Islam for you, then I don't need to prove anything to you. You'll have to go against that sheikh or that scholar, wouldn't you?
And then what is this? What is Islam based
Oh,
off
for
of?
God's
It's
sake. You know what?
Yeah,
Everything I say
listen to
you,
this guy.
you know, it's
Listen to
going
this
it's
guy.
going in one ear, out the other, isn't it? It's going
Are you claiming?
in
Are you
one ear,
claiming?
It's
No.
rolling around in some hollow
No.
space, and then it's going out the other ear.
So your position? No, wait. This is actually his position that he's arguing for. That he can scroll down, and his words said, "Oh, well, the first few searches that I see do agree with why so religious." That was his direct quote.
Yeah,
so he
no,
has to
definitely.
search
I
down-
agree.
he-
I agree.
how many-
I agree.
How many times did you have to use your
No, I
finger to
agree.
scroll
I
down on
agree.
your mouse before
Calm
you
down.
found some strange
Why
ass?
so? Why so? Calm down. Everything's going to be all right. No one's going to hurt
Dude,
you.
you're
okay?
talking about my my head being empty. What are you talking
down.
about, dude?
But lower your voice. We're having a conversation, yeah? So, there are opinions that says that isn't
You
brother
gave one
humanity.
opinion from
And I
a
will admit that.
community
I will
of
admit that.
volunteers.
Sorry,
So
why so?
even-
One at a time, please.
Even
One
though
at a
I
time.
just explained it was from Imam Nawawi and the community of volunteers was a compilation bit on there, are you still going to hold that point and still continue?
No, I want you.
You're an idiot.
to
You're
pro-
an idiot.
No,
You're an
I
idiot.
want you to prove.
You are an
Firstly,
idiot.
I want you. Firstly, I want to state this real quick. He's coming from a position because he found one sheikh that a group of people.
No. I
No,
looked into
dude,
this
be
hadith a while
quiet,
ago.
dude. Why can't you?
No, I don't need to be
Reactionary-
quiet. I don't need to be
Reactionary
quiet.
just
You're
said
not my
one at a
brother.
time,
You're not
dude.
my brother. You're not my brother. I don't need to be
What
quiet.
in
Reactionary is my
humanity,
brother.
right?
You're not.
Aren't I your brother in humanity?
You
according
are.
to you?
I hope you accept Islam.
then
but
be quiet, dude.
Until then, you're just a kafar, aren't you?
But are there differences between brother? Like, what's the difference between brother in humanity and brother in Islam? I mean, are there categories of brotherhood?
There would be a massive difference between those two terms, wouldn't there?
Okay.
Like enslaving, you can enslave your brother in humanity, but you can't enslave your brother in Islam. Like that's a pretty massive distance,
How
right?
do you let this guy?
Dude, is that not an Islam? Is that an Islamic answer? Yes or no?
Okay,
Yes,
but
it is because you can't
is
enslave
this-
a
is this-
Muslim.
Is this brother humanity interpretation of that hadith I bought mine? Is it mine? Have I gone and done that myself?
You know what we need.
I'm not like you, Waiso.
Okay.
I don't interpret hadith myself.
Yeah. I think what we need
That's
is
not what
Yeah,
you're
you
supposed
find
to do
one
in Islam.
person. You find one person who agrees with you, who you probably don't agree with.
Do you
You
think
probably don't
that
agree
was
with
the
this scholar
first
on
time I looked into
multiple
that hadith?
issues.
Do you
You
think
probably
that was the
don't
first-
agree with this scholar on multiple issues, but you're willing to die on this hill for this one quote
Dying
that
on the
a
hill.
community of volunteers attribute to him.
I'm dying on the hill. All it did was refute your stupid point about
How
us
did it
having to
refu-
curse
Li-
every Jew and
Reactionary, may
Christian.
I have 30 seconds to show you
No,
the difference
no.
here?
No,
Well, I'd just like to say
listen.
something
Can't.
quickly. I think what we need is we need to put this question to Sheikh Uthman bin Farouk
Okay.
and get his opinion. I'd like to hear what he has to say on it.
So,
Okay, but
so
let's
this
say he came back and said, no, to me it doesn't mean that. What does that mean? Does
Well,
that mean
the
I'm
question
wrong?
I
Does that
have,
mean that I'm
well,
wrong?
the question I have is this categorization of brotherhood. Where does it come from?
But
Is there any
may not even
basis
be,
for that?
it may not even be a categorization of brotherhood. It may not even be that. It may be a different word of brother. I don't know. I don't speak Arabic. You do. You can tell me. But
Yeah,
but there are- it's not-
al-Bashariyah.
there are
That is-
clear. There are lots of people that actually interpret that as brother in humanity. Because I looked into it with the
lots
boys,
of
but
people.
this was a couple of years ago when I was looking into these hadith. But it's actually one of the hadith in that Imam Nawawi book that is that is given to nearly every new Muslim you reach. That is very it's supposed to be very reliable.
Doesn't that seem a little weird?
Hey, look, I'm talking to my brother.
Doesn't that seem a little weird to
Shut
you
it.
that the new Muslims, that they are wanting to give this interpretation that is not what the majority of scholars teach? Isn't that a little weird to you?
Yeah, but no.
What do you think of that, reactionary?
No,
You don't think that that's a little concerning as far as about teaching the true deen?
How have we decided that is suddenly like some fringe opinion?
Okay, so may I clarify why it is? Or are you going to interrupt me?
I might interrupt you, but go ahead.
Okay,
you can try.
then that's fine. Well, okay, we'll address that if it comes. So, reactionary, you tell me if this is wrong. That the Islamic rulings, essentially like fatwas and rulings, the ijma is based off of the consensus of the wide array of scholars, that they come to a consensus on meanings, interpretations, and that is what they teach is true Islam. Now, saying that you can bring a one-off of a scholar, even though he is highly recommended, many people follow him, that doesn't matter, because Islam is based off the consensus. It's not a bunch of, well, I've studied for so long, so now I can give my own interpretation.
Okay, so in summation, what Waiso is saying, that any opinion that isn't with the consensus, we throw in the bin. Do you agree with that, reactionary? That's like one of the most stupid comments I've ever heard on a panel.
Say that again, sir. I had to step away for a second.
So in summation to what all the blabber you just said, right? You just said basically that anything that goes against the consensus, we throw in the bin. We can't use.
It's not supposed to be considered the deen. It's not supposed to be considered like what you're trying to propagate.
And when you say consensus,
did you realize that?
Let me finish. Local scholars, world scholars? Is it modern day scholars?
Let me finish.
Old scholars?
Well,
tell me what your consensus is.
So
you're teaching me about Islam here, aren't you?
That's actually a good point, right? Because you even mentioned that, this book of 40 hadiths by this one scholar is given to new Muslims, modern Muslims, people who are just entering Islam, as opposed to teaching them what has been around since the Sahaba, since the Tabaeen, since the Salaf.
Sorry, I don't think that's the situation. They're given books of hadith. The hadith doesn't say brothers in humanity. That was an explanation written by somebody commenting on the hadith. So
that's kind of my point.
The hadith itself, there's no issue with it. Yeah.
But Jordan M is claiming that the scholar gave the commentary of the meaning is brother in humanity. That's my point. So that's the reason I addressed the modern aspect that's brought up.
So it seems like some people are trying to kind of, I won't say water down, but create this kumbaya vision of Islam. Maybe they'll do the same with that includes LGBT Muslims or brothers in LGBT and stuff like that, not just humanity, because humanity includes them, right? Doesn't it? Includes LGBT.
No, but you're purposely misunderstanding it now, aren't you?
Wait, why can you tell him that he's misunderstanding it, but he can't tell you that you're misunderstanding it?
No, he can, but I'm not misunderstanding it, is I? And I understand what reaction. Are you right? Was that you or your kid? You need to. Your kid's laughing.
So with multiple sources. So his two sources to your one, and then but you're the one with the right understanding because of a brand new book given to brand new Muslims.
Are you saying reactionary because that interpretation hadith that does exist, that all of a sudden I've watered it down and I don't understand what a brother in Islam is, and I don't understand those terms? That's just your opinion, reactionary. Which again,
the point is, the main point that I'm making here is that it is not.
Yes. Sorry, one sec, Jordan.
So the point.
I'm not saying you're watering down anything. I'm saying that maybe Waiso has a point that if this is an interpretation being given out to new Muslims,
reactionary, he hasn't got a clue.
Trying to water down his understanding of Islam.
He hasn't got a clue what he's talking about, and you're giving him credence.
What?
He
All
hasn't
concept.
got a clue what you're talking about.
I know. Here's how I do know that I have a clue. Is that your words were the first few searches agrees with Waiso, so you have to scroll on your mouse.
Why do you think this weirdo? Right, would come onto my stream and type in the chat, Jews and Christians, we've got to curse them.
That
Why
wasn't
was
even
he
the first
there?
conversation, Jordan.
Why
do
was
you
he there,
do you
reactionary?
admit that you were wrong about that? Can
Reactionary,
you at least admit
why
that
was he
you were?
there?
Can you at least admit that you were wrong? That the first conversation was not about Jews and Christians. That it was about brothers and humanity. Can you at least admit that? Can we start at that point?
I can't remember the first bit. I can't
Then
remember.
how did you didn't even watch the video then? Because the first
Why would I watch your video?
the first 5 minutes of my video,
I
the
knew
very
what your
first
video was going to be. I knew it was going to
dude,
be
the first
playing on the thing that I suddenly think that I can call
reactionary,
you and my brother.
reactionary. Is this true? In the first 5 minutes of the video, all it is showing Jordan M saying that he claims that the Jews and Christians was the first conversation, and then I cut to the very first conversation was brothers and humanity, and then it goes into Jews and Christians.
Do you admit that when you put that hadith in you said you can curse the Jews and Christians? Why do Muslims curse the Jews and Christians? You didn't add in the last bit of the hadith.
No, dude.
Why not? Why not? Was there not enough letters?
No, dude. I gave the whole hadith even when. No, wait, Jordan. Jordan. You're the one who even changed the words on this stream to say that the hadith said the ones who built. It doesn't say that.
Cut and paste in Jordan's live stream to try and troll everybody.
Jordan, I only have 200 characters that I can use in your chat. You understand that?
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
So curse Jews and Christians. What's that about? 30 or something like that.
I said
plenty
Islam.
of space to put the rest of the hadith.
Islam says to curse the Jews and Christians. That's period. Allah said, Muhammad said, if I'm not mistaken, this was actually my direct writing. Muhammad said to curse the Jews and Christians. Period. That's all it is. That's what it says in there.
And you think that's what the hadith means, right?
Where have you refuted that that's what the hadith doesn't mean?
But are you giving your
because
on my video I screen shared what Islam Q&A says, which it teaches, which is an Islamic site that teaches Muslims from sheikhs what the interpretations of various things in Islam mean. And it said, I highlighted it and I scrolled up and made the screen even bigger so everybody could read it. And I paused on there for about 45 seconds. It says that, yes, you may curse Jews and Christians as a collective, but you are not supposed to curse individuals. I never made the claim that you curse individuals without knowing you didn't say collective either, did you?
So, wait, Jordan, because you don't know the truth. Wait. Because Jordan's Jordan's whole problem here is that he doesn't know what the real interpretation is, and that because I didn't clarify.
I've never heard it.
So what then? So then don't claim if you don't know something in Islam, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut and admit that you don't know about it. So why do you tell them, oh, we're not supposed to do that because we can marry Jews and Christians? It doesn't make sense that we can curse our own
I've been
wives.
Muslim 5 years, right?
It's an idiotic argument.
You think I've been Muslim 5 years, and the first thing is some weirdo troll comes on my live stream and tells me I need to curse all Jews and Christians.
You call me a troll.
Oh, why so religious?
You call me a troll.
Guy, what a guy! What a that scholar! Sheikh Wiso. You're a weirdo. Why am I going to listen to anything you say?
I'm glad that you finally admitted it. This is 2 times. The fact is, man, you're upset that you got called
obsessed.
out.
I'm not upset. You're obsessed.
You're upset that you got called out, and by your own words. I did a 45-minute video where I didn't even have to say a thing.
I'm not worried about being wrong or saying something wrong. Or I'm not.
I know because you have 50,000 followers who just follow you blindly and don't need evidence for anything. You have 50,000 people just blindly saying Jordan in EF Dawa, all hell.
That's not true. That's not true. If I say something out of place, I get corrected. That's what Muslims do.
Yeah.
What was that noise? What was that? What are you, a clown or something? You're wearing a clown's nose.
This guy.
Reactionary. Can we have a conversation or something? I'm missing EF Dawah, valuable time for this.
Oh, sorry about that.
EF Dawah is valuable time now?
Is Sheikh Ibn Farouk, is he on there today?
He only comes to the arena. He likes the okay. Yeah, jump on and ask Wiso about that hadith. Jump on and ask. Say Jordan, check my channel.
Yeah. I can't do that. I can't do that, Wiso, because
EF
Ralph
Dawa
has-
doesn't
Ralph-
allow
Ralph-
you to. EF
Ralph hasn't
Dawa,
banned me, but EF Dawa have banned me. Like that's
I'd
great,
say
isn't it?
Abbas, Imran, and Hamza will agree with that
EF
hadith.
Dawa doesn't allow people on to talk about Islam. They allow people on so that they can talk about their beliefs. It's the arena that you come in, you talk about Islam. So it's not like why would I go on EF Dawa with him on there? And also Hamza hasn't allowed me on in like 3 months since the people that claimed that I was lying actually repeated the exact same words that I said and then kicked me off. That like he hasn't let me back on since. So I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
That was a good story. What were we saying, actually? I can't remember. Hello?
I mean, you obviously don't want to talk about what we were talking about, so I'm letting it die and waiting for a new conversation. I guess this would be a good one. Do you think? Well, nobody's talking. Why shouldn't I bring up a conversation?
Go on. Why don't
Do
we talk
you
about
thi-
what you believe? Why don't we talk about what you believe?
I've done that with Reactionary plenty of times.
What do you believe?
What do you mean? What do I believe?
Do you believe in God?
No, I do not.
So would you make the claim there's no God, or are you agnostic on it?
I'm agnostic when it comes to a deity, but when it comes to a theist presentation of God, I am an atheist.
Okay. So you make the claim there's no sort of religious God, is that right?
There is no God that has spoken to humans and given them divine right. That's
So
my position.
So there might be a creator, but a creator that just leaves it all and doesn't bother contacting its creation. So like you'd be agnostic sort of on the deist position, yeah?
I would, yes, on the deist position, but by reading every religion that I have read that claims to have had a creator speak to them and give them divine rule, they have all come into problems with truth as far as universal truths.
What do you mean?
Like
Can
that
you give me an example?
they say things that are unequivocally wrong.
Like what?
Well, like the one I use that for Islam, if you want. Or I could talk about Judaism and Christianity. I can do whichever one you want.
Yeah, what in Islam is like a, would you say, a falsehood, or what have you proven wrong?
In Al-Mulk, Surah 67, ayat
Mhm.
4, 3 and 4, it talks about Allah even puts a test in there. He says, look up at the sky, look down, look back up. Do you see any cracks or fissures? Do you look back down, look twice again? Your sight will return to you. Now, I gave a hadith where Muhammad even tells people, do not look up during prayer because your sight will not return to you. So there's a Quran verse that
Does the
you might
Quran
wanna
say
take-
during prayer? Does the
Why
Quran say
can't-
during prayer?
why can't I finish? You asked me.
Because you've clearly just said something silly. Like, can
No,
I not let you know?
You say that, but you won't let me finish.
Look at the difference between the two.
So listen.
One's talking
listen.
about prayer.
Listen.
We're only praying.
I
Like,
gave
a few
you a
minutes of the
Quran
day.
verse. I gave you a Quran verse, which
Yeah,
Allah is testing people, telling them
Which,
to look.
do you
up at
agree? It's not about prayer.
What?
The Quran verse has nothing to do with prayer.
No, I'm
Yes,
giving
okay,
you.
good.
I'm giving you an example where Muhammad says the exact same thing as the Quran to show that it is more of a literal interpretation. If that's not enough, then we can also go to the tafsir, right, of Ibn Kathir, where Ibn Kathir says that it is literal. He says, thus the ayah means no matter how much you look, your sight will not return to you. And also, I bought a Tabri book, okay, that was translated, and luckily it has Al-Mook in it. And in Al-Mook and Tabri, what it says is there was an alternative reading, so a qira'at of the
Mhm.
Quran, which
Mhm.
Allah says your sight will return to you feebled from having traveled far. And then it even gives the word that is used was at the time in Arabic, because Muslims are very big about the etymology of words. The word that was used in the reading, the Arabic people used to say it to dogs to tell them to go away, get far away. Now, all of this is showing that Allah's concept of sight was before we proved that light enters the eye. It's not that sight leaves the eye and travels to an area and comes back, which was historically the belief until I can't remember the Muslim's name in like the 900s who disproved it. It's off the top of my head. I can't remember it. But he proved that light enters the eye, that sight doesn't leave. So there's multiple tafsirs. There's hadiths that affirm it. Allah's words are perfect. And in 1443 of the Quran, he says the same thing. He says on the day of resurrection, the day of resurrection, people will stand up and their sight will not return to them. So this is multiple times that it's said. There's hadith literature to back it up. There's two tafsirs of the most respected commentaries of all time, Tabri and Kathir, that say it is literal. So yes, that's my argument. The only argument that can be brought to it is, oh well, it's an allegory.
Hello?
Hello?
Is that it? Can you guys hear me in the chat?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I think so. What's Weiser's point there? He's trying to say that before this scientific discovery of light entering the eye, that
Am I
it
offline?
was thought that, my audio's got a problem. Hold on. Yeah, hello, can anyone hear me? There's a problem with my audio. I'm not sure what the issue is. Keep having to come off and come back on again.
That I made my point. That was my point. That every religion that claims that God has spoken to people,
Hello, can you
they
hear me?
teach things that are
Assalamu
not true.
alaikum.
I hear you, reactionary.
So I missed. So you're saying it was claiming about the sight leaving the eye, right? That's what it meant, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to work out what you meant. Can you read the surah again?
Oh, yes.
Al-Mulk 67, ayah 4 and 3 and 4.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not a Hafiz yet. I need to do. Reactionary, do you know the verse talking about? Tumbleweed. I can't. I didn't understand that. Yeah, I have to read it. The actioner.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Did you hear what cut out at the end? Did you understand what Weiso's point? Hello. All right, I'm gonna pop over to EF Tower.
Okay, thanks for coming. Sorry about that. My
No
audio's
problem.
got issues. So
No problem, brother. I'll pop on maybe again later if it's still alive.
yeah, all right then.
Inshallah.
Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
See you later, brother in humanity. Why so religious?
Oh dear. So, people, yes, that was an interesting discussion. But sadly, I don't know if you can hear me consistently, but my audio, for some reason today, is
I hear you now.
behaving mischievously. So, I may have to end the stream if I can't rectify it.
If I may, reactionary, before you end it. So I don't know if you're gonna end it right now or whatnot, but I kind of understand the frustrations that you would have about Buddha Bing. I don't know. I think you watched me talking about it or whatnot, but
Yes, then. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to sadly, leave or end the stream because my audio isn't functioning. So
all right. I appreciate you having me on. You
yeah,
be safe.
yeah. Big up, Wes. Thank you for coming. So yeah, that's it, people. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Inshallah, we'll get to the bottom of Waiso's claims next time. Inshallah. Okay then, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.